Next up on the agenda, we have uh, a group of wellness champions at Zeeland Public Schools. And they are doing great things over there. They've teamed up together. Sarah Stone, who is a nutritional service director at Zeeland Public Schools, and her colleague, Erin Nienhuis. Did I do good with that? Ron, okay. Director of Transportation. Now, from what I recall, they reached out to me originally to help them with ideas on doing some wellness activities for the bus drivers, if my memory is correct. And I think that turned into some other great things. I welcome to the platform Zeeland Public Schools Wellness.
Hello, everyone. Let me share my slide real quick. We are from Zeeland Public Schools, and my name is Sarah Stone. I'm the Director of Nutrition Services, and we both kind of put our picture in here of why we are into health and fitness. And, definitely for me, that's me at the Grand Canyon. Definitely want to travel. I hit the big 5-0 last year. So looking forward to retiring and being able to travel to grand locations like this.
Yes, and my name is Aaron Nienhuis. Close, Rhonda, very close. And I've been the director here for 5 years, and I have been a part of our department, our transportation department, for 20 years. I was a substitute bus driver, and I worked in student ministries before I was the director. And I graduated from Zeeland, and I now have 4 kids in Zeeland. So it's a good place to call home. So this is how we got started with our wellness committee. Sarah and I, just kind of having worked together for a few years, just almost in a way like venting to each other, right? About some of our struggles in our jobs. Some of those struggles being we're short-staffed, morale is low. Our jobs are so demanding. Bus driving and food service, they're very demanding jobs in our district. And I'm sure you guys have this in your roles too. Like it's easy to complain to each other or whatever, but Sarah and I chose to do something about it, and that's kind of what came out of this. Is like, well, let's work together, because we also have very demanding jobs. Well, let's work together and let's try to figure out something positive to do for our teams. And so that's kind of our struggles and some of the things we had in common is what led us to do that.
So some of the goals that we wanted to do with committing this workplace wellness was to form healthy habits. We both have, like he said, we have physically demanding jobs in the kitchen. The bus drivers have strict physicals that they have to pass in order to drive the bus. So just forming those healthy habits with our staff was very important for us. Friendly competition between departments and to increase morale. So how we started is we connected with Rhonda, told her we were trying to get started, and she gave us, Rhonda, if you haven't used her as a resource, she's definitely a really good resource. She gave us examples of how to get started, gave us ideas. MESSA has kind of a wellness survey. So we took that survey and made it into a Google form and sent it out to our staff. We do a weekly update. So we sent it into our staff to kind of get some feedback of, if they had any skills, how did they prefer to receive health information? Were they interested in serving in our wellness committee? And with that, then we created, sneak peek, we created our committee and started having committee meetings. And with that, last year was our first year. And Aaron, I'm going to hand it over to Aaron, and he can tell you what we did our first year.
Yeah, so our first committee meeting that we had, we probably wrote down over 20 ideas and things that we could do or wanted to do. We had some really good dream big ideas. And we very quickly realized like we're going to burn ourselves out. So we narrowed those ideas down into three, I'll say, things that we did our first year. And so the first one was kind of we introduced ourselves to our departments or whatever and said, hey, this is what we're trying to do. And so to kick this off, we're going to do a step up challenge. And there's an app called Step Up, and you can on the app you can make like a team. So we had a bus team and we had a food team, and then we could track those steps. Everybody who signed up, so you could track like individual and you could track the teams, and it was just really fun to compete against each other. And our bus drivers thought, oh, for sure, food service is gonna be ahead because they're walking around all day and we just sit. But it was pretty competitive anyways. And so we had a lot of fun with that. And we did some prizes around that. And so the next thing we did was a wellness luncheon. And we had Rhonda come in, which was awesome. She was so well received by all of our staff and just very engaging and informative. And of course, we provided lunch. We wanted to do something to draw them in. And we celebrated our time together. We passed out some prizes, and it was just a good time to connect. And then finally, kind of our wrap up thing was our community does a Love and Lean walk, and it's all about supporting mental health. And it was started by a family in our district who lost their son to suicide. And so you can see our group picture there. That was everybody who ran or walked in the 5K this year. We did T-shirts together. We were really proud of our T-shirts. Kind of that bus. I think they're called Buses and Bites or something like that. That was our team name, and just a cool way to bring together two departments that normally probably would never see each other. And so that was a lot of fun and just built a lot of morale. And it was really good. So after those three things, then we sent out some surveys just to kind of gather some feedback, and those are linked there too. I don't know if you want to look at them now or you can get them later when you get your presentation. But yeah, just kind of a year-end survey to say, all right, we did this. What do you want? What worked well? What didn't? And always just trying to get that feedback, because we don't want to do something that's going to be for Sarah and I. We wanted to do something that is going to benefit our teams and our people.
Okay, so this year, after we had the year-end survey, we met kind of in June to review the feedback from the survey and what we did that year. And with that, the feedback that we received from a lot of people were they really liked the electronic communications. They wanted more written materials. They wanted more nutrition and mental health wellness challenges versus they felt this first year we did a lot of physical challenges and they wanted a little bit more variety. And they also they were interested in more passive learning. So we kicked off the school year for the back to school meeting. There's usually a big hurrah in the back to school year, but it's more geared towards teachers than it is for support staff. So we sort of worked with our administration and said we kind of want to just for our support staff a hurrah, a back to school that's more catered and where they will feel that we can recognize the difference between a support staff and a teaching staff. We wanted to keep it very motivational and encouraging to start off the school year at a good pace. We had lunch for them and we had time to fellowship. So, and then we sort of opened up our wellness to other departments too, because we'd like to do more of a school district wide wellness program. So this year we did monthly wellness challenges, and each month had 3 challenges, and they focused on mental health, nutrition, and physical education. And all these challenges were more self-driven versus group participation. Here is an example of our November. This is when we kicked it off. We did a rainbow foods challenge, and we have a link. Since November, we did No Shave November, so to kind of highlight men's health. And we did a gratitude calendar as well. And then every month, staff could send us that, and we are having a year-end celebration in June where we're having a big cookout, and that's where we have prizes. And every time you do one of these challenges, you got entered in for a drawing for one of these prizes.
Yeah, so a few of the challenges that we had just I mean we're wrapping up year 2, right? So one of the challenges was fundraising. Our leadership hasn't really gotten the buy-in yet. Like, we think there's some value here to our people, but the only way we're able to do some of the things that we've done is thanks to some of our vendors who were willing to pitch in and help us with lunch or help us with prizes or something like that. Another challenge for our 2 departments was the time constraints. You think about a bus driver's schedule, who's going to be first thing in the morning and then last thing in the afternoon. And then our free time is during lunch when food service is at their busiest. So it was really hard for us to, I think there's value in gathering together. I think there's value in gathering in person. And we love some of those things we were able to do. Just our time constraints and schedules prevented that. So that's kind of why we pivoted to some of the online challenges and some of the communication that way. I mentioned this already, but just we would love to see our leaders, our central office leaders, help us out a little bit. So if there's any central office people, you know, on this call, I just encourage you to if you hear of stuff like this in your district, I mean, make sure to champion it, because it's so important for our people, and it's what our people need to keep, at the end of the day, to keep kids healthy, right? I mean, I want my team to be on their best A game every morning when they leave our bus lot, so that they can safely transport kids and help them start their day off well. So we want to do what we can. Yeah, coordinating with multiple departments is pretty tricky too. One like dream big idea we would love to have is if there would be somebody on our teams who could, like, this could be part of their job description, not a whole separate person for wellness, because that might be a tough sell, but just somebody who can say, all right, you know, you're going to spend a couple hours a week, and this is going to be your baby to run, right? And then we can kind of offer that support behind that. And then yeah, just kind of the diverse needs, right? There's so many things and so many ideas, but what do we do? We try to make that best for everybody, and then you know, making sure we get the right people at the table. Just finding those people who are passionate about that.
All right, so how do we keep this sustainable? So what Aaron touched base on was encourage staff ownership and involvement in planning. And if we can build this into a position, because right now with the committee, we kind of feel like we're both directors, so everybody's looking at us like, what should we do? What should we do? And we really, part of it is getting the right people at the table and getting people who to take ownership. How do we get them to take ownership and to take this and drive where we can be more of a supportive role? Because we are quite busy and this means a lot to us, but we can't dedicate the time that we need for this program to be sustainable. And we're going to use the feedback to continually improve and adapt challenges. We'll send out another year-end feedback survey, find out what staff really enjoy. If their people aren't participating, how can we get them to participate? And then continue conversations with leadership to support buy-in and just integrate the wellness into our culture. We both send out weekly updates. So I've started adding a little bit of wellness tips. So we just finished a challenge about adding spices to your meal. So every week I kind of highlighted a spice and put in little tidbits of why that spice was great. So just doing some of that little things, even if 1 or 2 people just read that and take away from it, it's worth it. And also offer diverse, flexible activities and try to promote small, achievable goals for them. And they say, our staff say it's not about the prizes, but I feel like it's about the prizes. They need some prizes and some incentives to do it as well. And then our last slide just shows a little bit of feedback. People love having the competition. The Step Up Challenge was well received. I had people saying that like they were down in their basement at 9 o'clock at night because they were 200 steps away from beating somebody. So they were just going circles in the basement at night to try and beat the person ahead of them. So it's great to have that kind of motivation and just to try different things, like with the mental health this year, with the gratitude we did and the breathing exercises. I know for me on a personal level, those were great to pay attention to and to be like, oh yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You have anything else to add?
No, I think that's all.